Hey guys, Defy here. One of the questions I get most often is, how do you play these custom Mario games? So I put together this little tutorial to explain to you guys everything you need to do to get started and your different options for actually playing the games. But first I want to say thank you to the community. You guys have been awesome, especially these last few months. It's been really great hanging out with you guys on TikTok and on Twitch. And if this is your first time on YouTube, I'd really appreciate if you could subscribe and make sure you're following on all my other platforms, Twitch, TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Defy by default, all across the board. Anyway, let's get into the video. Okay, so let's get started. Your biggest resource in making these custom Mario World games is going to be Super Mario World Central, or smwcentral.net. This website has everything you need really to get started. There's 3 things you need to make a Super Mario World ROM hack or mod. That is floating IPS or flips. That's the program that actually patches the 2 files together. And then you also need a Super Mario World base ROM, a clean Super Mario World ROM, and you need to have the patch, whatever patch it is that you want to apply to make your custom game. 2 of those 3 things are found on this website. Super Mario World base ROM, you need to get that yourself. It is not legal to host that online, so you need to legally own a copy of the game that you're modifying. So you need to either rip that yourself from your cartridge or find a Super Mario World ROM, clean ROM to patch. But the other 2 things I'm going to show you how to get right now. So Super Mario World Central, we're on here right now. This is the main page, smwcentral.net. Okay, so we're going to come down the right-hand side here, and you're going to see Tools. We're going to click on that, Tools. And here, there's all the different tools that are used to create ROM hacks or to make ROM hacks. But we only need one tool, and that's floating IPS. So we're going to click on Filter. And right in Name there, on the top box, we're going to type in Flips. Alright, so we got Flips in there. We're going to hit Enter. And that brings up floating IPS, or Flips. We're going to go ahead and download that file. That is the program we need. So we got that. We downloaded that. We're good to go. And then we're just going to download, we want to make a ROM hack, right? So let's download a patch, all right? So if you go right back to the main menu, you can click on the top, it brings you back to the menu. All right, we're going to come back down the side here, and we're going to click on Hacks. So this is going to bring you to the different patches. So right down here, as soon as we click on it, you'll see there's already some here all along the side. And there's different types. There's Kaizo, Intermediate, Kaizo Expert, Standard, Hard. So they're all divided by the type of ROM hack you're playing. So if you don't want to play the crazy hard Kaizo games that I play, you can actually go ahead and play Standard Easy or Standard Normal. Standard Hard and Standard Very Hard are also extremely difficult, and in some cases are more hard than Kaizo. So don't necessarily assume that because a hack is a standard hack that it's going to be easy. There are some very hard standard hacks out there. Kaizo is more a style of hack than a difficulty of hack, even though even the easiest version of Kaizo is quite difficult. So yeah, you can choose anything you want. So I don't know, let's just go ahead and we'll download the one right here at the top. It's called Shells. So click on Shells. That's going to bring us to the page. It's going to tell us who made it. So it's made by Bodacious Snail. Tells you when it was added. It's got some information here, and usually there's a few screenshots, and you can place a review of the game once you've played it and given it a rating. But yeah, see different screenshots here. All right, so we're going to go ahead and click download. You can also click on the name of the game on the actual games page, and that will also download it. But there's a big download button right here. Go ahead and download that. So now we've got a floating IPS. We've got our patch. And we have everything you need except for the base ROM. I have a base ROM. I own Super Mario World, so I have a base ROM for Super Mario World. We're going to go ahead, and I'm going to show you how to patch those files together and make a custom game. Okay, so we have our 3 files here. We've got our floating IPS, we've got our patch there, Shells, and we've got our Super Mario World base ROM. So the first thing you got to do, obviously, is you got to extract the files from the 2 things you downloaded from SMW Central. So let's do that right now. Okay, so we have our 3 files here. We've got our Super Mario World base ROM, our Shells patch that we want to apply, and then we have our folder here for floating IPS. So you can go ahead and open that folder. If you click on Flips, that's the actual program, and that brings it up. You can choose to apply the patch this way, but you don't really need to do that. As long as you have that program installed, all you got to do, if you look at the Shells patch, You notice the type is floating IPS, so it already recognizes that floating IPS is the program that it needs to execute. So if you go ahead and double click that, it's going to run flips, and it's going to ask you for a base ROM. So we have the base ROM right here, Super Mario World. Click on that, and now we just got to name our brand new ROM hack. So we're just going to name it Shells. You can name whatever you want, but usually you keep it to the name of the ROM hack you're playing. So go ahead and click save. So the patch has been applied, and now we have our brand new game. We're all ready to play. So let me show you how to do that. Okay, so if you want to play on your PC via an emulator, that is the easiest and cheapest way to do it. You can use any controller that connects to a PC to play. You're going to need an emulator. So go to SNES9X.com. This is my emulator of choice. There's plenty of options out there. Some people will tell you to play different ones. I really like SNES9X. I think is probably the best one and most accurate emulator that I've ever used to playing on actual hardware. So yeah, SNES9X.com. We'll go right here. We're at the website. And just click on here down to downloads on the right side. You're going to download, there's different options for downloading it. You're just going to download the emulator and install it. I'm not going to go through that. You guys can figure that out on your own. You guys are smart. But yeah, SNES9X is the emulator you want to use. And so I'm going to show you what that looks like once you have it installed. Let's go. Okay, so now we got the emulator installed. It's SNES9X. We're going to go ahead and open that up. Here we go. So all we're going to do is go to File, Load Game. Here we go. So we have Super Mario World. So that's the base ROM that we use to make the patch. We don't want to play that. That's just regular Super Mario World. Everyone's played that, right? So click on Shells. That's the file we just made. Shells.smc. Here we go. It's loading up. We got our new custom Mario game to play right now. Shells, a Mario game. Then you go ahead. I am using actually a Wii Classic controller with a PC adapter to play on PC. But that's not actually how I normally play Super Mario World ROM hacks. If you guys watch my videos, you know that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how I play. So one of the second biggest questions I get is, what are you playing this on? What console? And people are always shocked when I say I'm playing on a Super Nintendo. They ask, how is that possible to play a modified game on a Super Nintendo? And that's because I have what is called an FX Pack. FX Pack Pro to be precise. It is a custom cartridge. It's just a Super Nintendo cartridge. And it fits in your Super Nintendo. And right on the top here, it's got a little SD mini slot. So you click that out. Alright, a little SD card. And this is what you load the games on. You're going to load your custom games on the card. You put the card in the cartridge. And then the cartridge just goes in your Super Nintendo. And you're good to go. It's going to read the games right off this. It needs some firmware. But yeah. And so if you want to get one of these, you'll see it right there on the side as well. There's a website. The creator of this, his name is Krix. They're based in Ukraine. They make these cartridges. And there's also a North American vendor that sells them called Stone Age Gamer. So that's where I got mine. Mine's from Stone Age Gamer. And yeah, you just got to get one of these. They are fairly expensive, so you are going to be spending a decent amount of money to get one of these if that's the route you want to go. But if you already have a Super Nintendo and you really want to play on an actual Super Nintendo, I can't recommend it enough. It's the most accurate, best way to play ROM hacks in my opinion. Emulators are definitely getting close to being as accurate as possible now, but it's still never going to feel exactly the same as it is playing on actual original hardware. Emulation just doesn't quite get there. So that is my recommendation. But if you don't want to spend money, obviously play an emulator. That's fine as well. It's cheap. It's free basically. So that is the best option if you just want to check it out. But if you're really serious about it, FX Pack Pro. That's what you want to do. And that's how you play Super Mario World ROM hacks. Before I go, I just wanted to say thank you for watching. I hope you found this helpful, and I hope it answers most of the questions you have. If you have any other questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. And I'm going to put all the links in the description for all the things I talked about, so it's easier to find. So just look in the description. You'll find the links to SNW Central, where to buy the flashcards, emulators, stuff like that. All that stuff's going to be in the description. So thank you for watching, and maybe we'll have a part 2 in which ROM hacks to start with when starting out. Let me know if that's what you want. Take care. Thousands of different patches of different custom Mario games. I'm working here. I'm working here. Do I keep this in the video? No, we'll put it as a blooper. Oh my god, you're so adorable.